All right, let's watch this clip of
You ready for
AQ20.
the next one?
Ragex
It's
is a
down
mob
from
that does a knockback which drops threat on everyone. Threat goes back to 0 here. And it looks like maybe a caster pulled at the first second. And then things get scary when everyone takes damage, right? Everyone takes damage when this happens, but it's really only the main tank that you need to watch out for. That's the person that's going to be most at risk when they're at half health and tanking a mob, right? So quickly hitting the tank back up here is important. I notice that demo shout drops here, so the boss is hitting extra hard at this time. And what you're going to see here at the end is very scary. So the boss again is going to drop threat at the last second here. Solidus quickly gets like 7k threat. Kush isn't even on the meter, and then he gets a Wind Fury proc, and suddenly he's down to 5% health. So in this circumstance, I would not have used my health pot early on. There's this passive buff during this fight that gives you a lot of healing, especially in a group like this that also has shaman chain healing. Pretty quickly you're going to get back to your health up. You want to save your potion cooldown for lip here. But what stands out to me is like the tank is just not taunting. When I look at the logs here, I'm really confused at what I'm seeing. So let's pull this up right here. He's just never taunting. So yeah, he's like, you need to watch your threat. Well, if you just use taunt or mocking blow for the last 6 seconds of the fight, or challenging shout, right? Like I don't know why challenging shout or mocking blow was never used, and taunts were just not used much at all. So very questionable tanking here. And yeah, like does this guy need to watch his threat? Sure, but if you watch your threat, and you're watching the table here, he's not on it till he gets a Wind Fury proc, and suddenly he is. So as a tank, the last couple seconds of the fight in a circumstance like this, there is zero reason to not press taunt. Just something to think about. Hey, I want to do part 2 of content talking about Kush. I think he's a fun to watch streamer, and I didn't realize when I was watching that first clip that basically the exact same thing happened a couple weeks ago. And to me, the question again comes down to taunting. Why are tanks not using mocking blow and challenging shout after threat drops happen? Yes, this guy needs to be more aware when a threat drop happens. Lip is your best friend here. Unfortunately, what happens is he uses his Death Wish, and I imagine that the main tank did not match that. So right here, charge happens into a fear, threat goes back down to 0, and bada bing bada boom, suddenly dead. But again, my big question is why is there not additional stuff being happening from the tank? Because I just not sure if I saw the taunt happen. So just something to think about is making sure that you are using that taunt as much as possible. I know it's tough on Horde side with the way that threat works and stuff like that, but especially in this circumstance right here, right when the stretch drop happens, being ready to instantly taunt and pick it back up and then follow it with a challenging shout or a mocking blow is just an absolute game changer. Do need to be really careful with challenging shout as these guys are positioned kind of close together between the humanoid and the raptor. But again, I'll just really take home the point of needing to have a little bit better tanking ability if you're blasting on Horde side, or you just can't blast, right? Like it looks to me, this guy has a shield on potentially. No, he's dual wield, I think. Yeah, dual wield. So, rip.